everybody? Thanks for downloading the Voice of Bedlam podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Santoro. We're rocking in today with Blank 77 off their new split with the Parasitics. But let's get into football now. This is the free agent frenzy. Things are going crazy. But let's introduce the co-host first. We got my main man, Devil John, on the mic and on the boards. John, what's up, man?
What's going on, everybody? There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the Panthers camp as well. So, I can't wait to get deep into this deep content because I felt like I blinked for like 2 seconds and then like 5 more players went and got outside.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and got cut and then re-signed.
Yeah, yeah. Although, we have a retraction, gentlemen. We have a retraction automatically. We called a certain someone going to a certain team, but that was not the case because he did not re-sign with Denver.
Are we already getting rolling and talking about Brock Osweiler and the Denver Broncos? Now, this is definitely the lead-off story. There's a couple other good ones, but okay. So let's set the scene here. John Elway drafts Brock Osweiler, has him schooled like a genius behind Peyton Manning. We're kind of starting to look like the prologue of Aaron Rodgers' transformation from coming behind Brett Favre, all right? So that's how everybody's setting everything up. And then the whole mix-up kind of even goes even worse than it does with Brett Favre. Happens to Brock Osweiler. Manning stays in, wins the Super Bowl. Brock Osweiler is saying that he's upset, ended all negotiations with the Broncos, left and headed straight to the Texans. What's up, Sean?
What's up? I guess it must be chopped liver because I didn't get introduced at all.
I know. What's going on?
Hey, John took us right into Denver, man.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm sorry. No, because
I'm just glad to be here on a Thursday. It's my first Thursday show, so I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's a hectic free agent day. So what are you thinking about Brock in Denver?
Well, I said on the last podcast I thought he was an idiot for not signing with Denver. They just won the Super Bowl.
He ended up smart, though.
He got paid.
Yes, he did, to the best. What I've been saying the whole offseason, the best team, if I'm a quarterback I want to go to, the way everything's set up right now, the Houston Texans.
And they got Matt Forte now. They got DeAndre Hopkins.
I think Matt Forte went to the Jets.
Oh, that's right. No, I'm sorry. Dang, man. I'm getting, there's so many moves going on right now. It's just like I'm losing my mind right now. No, it's Lamar Miller.
Yeah,
right?
Lamar Miller.
Yes, Lamar Miller went to Houston.
I'm like, what the heck, man?
Dude, he did not. They don't value running backs. You guys see his contract? He didn't really get that much cash, dude. I don't remember the exact number. I don't have it in front of me.
Lamar Miller, you're talking about?
Yeah, Lamar Miller. He didn't get a big.
Well, he's
a running back.
He's not a stud running back, though.
He had a decent year. He had a nice year, though. You're right, though. He's a running back, and he's not the.
And he played in Miami, where they didn't really value the run that much either.
All right, but let's stick over. All right, so this Osweiler thing is a whole snowball effect. So Brock Osweiler, 100% is a Houston Texan. Bob McNair is giving him $72 million over 4 years for Brock Osweiler. All right, so now that turns into what happens to Brian Hoyer, who is Denver's quarterback. This whole thing just exploded. It involves half of the league, it feels like. So where do you want to go first with this? Now, is Hoyer, I think he's just a casualty. Does anybody care about Hoyer? Is he going to go back to the Browns? Is he going to go to the Jets? What's going to happen with Hoyer?
Brian Hoyer he's kind of just a guy now.
Exactly, but
he's just a guy.
If you need a number 2,
Okay, so you straight up backup. You don't think he ends up on one of those teams?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think he'd be a solid number 2.
Okay,
and
we'll see. I agree, but there's always, just like Ryan Fitzpatrick, like you're always thinking Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to be the backup, and then he ends up starting. I think that might happen with Hoyer. Okay, and now, so we got the Texans really, are they putting it together? But who knows? Because Osweiler is unproven. When he has played, it's been mixed. So how far do you think he could take the Texans in the next 3 years?
if he can, he's got a target out there.
Yeah, he's got DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, he does.
And not only that, that defense is nothing to shake your fist at either. I wouldn't want to go up against that.
Yeah.
They definitely improved their offense, that's for sure.
So, they're making moves to this time not be the joke of the league.
I mean, they got rid of some what appeared to be dead weight and Arian Foster. And they're really.
What happened to him again?
He was mostly hurt.
He just
cut.
got cut.
He's just been injured for. He's always been kind of injured.
He's made of glass.
And when he started last season, all the reports were coming out that he was thinking about retiring. Then, after he got hurt, he didn't know if he wanted to do it anymore. Yeah. So I said right then he was dead. Because to me, you know what I mean. It's more mental than it is physical. So that was the same thing I was kind of saying with Steve Smith, but Steve Smith's wired a little different. I think when you put it in your head that you're going to retire, I think something changes in you. And as you can see now, you know what I mean? Now, where's he going to go? I don't think he's going to. I think Arian Foster's done.
You're probably right about that. I mean, he might get a second chance.
Yeah, but I don't think he wants to do it.
Right, you're right.
The game of football is just really brutal to the body, man. And not only that, he's his diet, he has to load up because he's, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's vegan, so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, he has like a.
Oh, Arian Foster. Yes, I've read that too. Yeah, I knew that too. I thought we were talking about
So with that being said, you need a lot of protein for your muscles and such. So you're
absolutely right.
Eating, so in a vegan diet, you're eating a lot of
cardboard,
avocados, a lot of nuts, and
cardboard.
Oh yeah, cardboard. No, I don't know. Yeah, it's mostly that though.
All right, but let's keep things moving here.
Yeah.
Because now this leaves the Super Bowl champs. And this leaves so Super Bowl champion Brock Osweiler goes to the Texans. And who's going to replace him? I mean, you got Kaepernick out there, and he's the one that they're saying Denver's really pushing to get a trade off with San Francisco, somehow get Colin Kaepernick to them. But Cap's also being pursued by pretty much everyone else who needs a quarterback, like the Jets and the Browns.
Exactly.
What do you guys? So what are we doing with Cap? What's going on? Is Denver going to get him? How's it going to go off?
He's not a free agent, so
no, it's going to be a trade.
Yeah, it has to be a trade. So I mean, we still don't know whether or not Chip Kelly is really,
they just won the Super Bowl.
Chip Kelly does not want Colin Kaepernick.
They just won the Super Bowl. They don't care about the giving up a pick because it's the last pick.
Well, yeah, exactly. And did you hear what else, though? They basically came out and said, because everybody got all upset over this, Brock Osweiler's hurt, John Elway's insulted. They sound like a bunch of girls. I'm sorry.
They called it, because they played it completely wrong. The way that they did that, man, I salute him for going out and getting paid and going to another team, because if you treated me like that, you're lucky I don't spit in your face with the disrespectful way that you treated me. Because if you're saying, because like I said the last podcast, if you are one day not talking to me and then 2 days later all of a sudden, hey, I want to throw money at you because you're my guy now.
You're my last hope.
You're my last hope.
So he kind of walked out finger in the air. I hear what you're saying there.
To be insulted, to be second fiddle to Captain Noodle Arms, get out of here.
I was more talking about Elway though.
Elway, he's a coward now. What is this cowardice moves? And not only that, they had to put a franchise tag on Von Miller. Why couldn't you get a long-term contract?
Go back and listen to it. I said, thank you for reminding this. When they franchised Von Miller, I said, this is really going to screw things up with Brock Osweiler. And that's exactly what it did. I mean, it may not be the straw that broke the camel back, but it definitely contributed.
Most definitely, because that is most insulting. Because if you're one day, not even the guy to get even a phone call returned to answer questions, and then 2 days, now you are the guy. You're the BMC now. No, that's not cool. It's not cool, and good for you. You have a decent team that's building over there, and good luck to you.
Okay, but now the next biggest thing. Did you have something else you want to say on that, Sean?
Just that Brock Osweiler, a lot of people were saying, they were confused as to why he would He said, and I think I quote here, "I'm going to a team that's on the cusp of doing something great."
They are, though.
They are, but he left a team that just won the Super Bowl, and to me, that's just lip service. He's just playing it up to.
He's gonna try to pull the Peyton.
He's playing it up
right
to
away.
he's playing it up to the Texans, like, whatever. Like he's saying things.
Everybody's gonna do that. He's a new quarterback.
Exactly.
And you know what? And now it's like, and this
But
team loves me. My other team rejected me. They put me on the bench. That's kind of what I meant. I kind of see. I like the way he left like that. That is cool. But it kind of seems like that's how he felt.
But at the same time, when you look at just what he said, it doesn't make any sense.
And I don't know what you mean. Clarify.
Because he left the team that just won the Super Bowl, where he could play again next year and potentially make a run in the playoffs, maybe even win another Super Bowl, and instead he goes to Houston.
Yeah, but Houston is a contender. If they have a quarterback,
I'm not saying they're not, but when you're talking about just what you heard out of Brock Osweiler's mouth, to me, it doesn't make any sense, because he's saying that he's leaving. He's leaving to go to a team that's on the cusp of doing something great.
But he was already out.
He was just in Denver, and they just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I got you.
Indeed.
All right, but look, we got to get over. I've been sitting on my hands trying to bring this up. All right, if you've read anything I've been writing, I'm always talking about how the Giants are a traditional franchise and, don't overspend in free agency and everything like that. But, as I said all offseason again, the Giants were the third richest team. Then they came out to be the fourth richest team. And they were going to throw money around, and they had to. This is Jerry Reese's last shot. The Giants need to be a 10-win team, or he will lose his job. Unless the only way, if they're not a double-digit, if they win the division at 9-7, he'll probably stay. But most likely, they're going to need to be a double-digit win team. He's going out there, and he's throwing astronomical amounts of money. Olivier Vernon, they're breaking all kinds of records with this contract. Vernon's getting $85 million over 5 years. All right, $85 million over 5 years. He is now the highest. This is the highest amount of guaranteed money in the NFL at $52.5 million guaranteed. He also, I don't have the exact number in front of me. He also is going to make the most in the next 3 years. Like, he has some record for that as well. Now, some people say, I did an article about this up on sportsrants.com. Go check that out over at sportsrants.com. It's called "The Giants Dive Headfirst into Free Agency." As they're I don't know. I totally lost. Well, what do you think about Olivier Vernon? I mean, people are saying he's overpaid, but you got to get used to these bloated contracts now, I think, with the cap being this high. It's the way the union has it set up. What do you think?
The Giants just threw a lot of money around,
we got plenty of more names. Yes, we do.
Like a like a rapper at the strip club. Like, honestly, you guys
they were making it rain.
You just made it rain in like one day. Just like, here's some money for you, and money for you, and money. So, whoopsie.
Wasn't supposed to press that button, I guess.
I guess not. But anywho, no, you guys went out there but you focused on the defense finally, and good for you.
It's about time. I know, because listen, let me really break this down. We also got Janoris Jenkins. Now, Janoris Jenkins is going to get 62.5 over the next 5 years, $30 million guaranteed, 40 over the first 3, second highest paid corner in the NFL. This man has 10 touchdowns, but the big number, 10 interceptions, the big number is his 6 defensive INTs. He's got multiple games with multiple interceptions, and he's got a single game with multiple scores. This kid is an up-and-comer. This kid is an up-and-comer straight out of St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? I also wrote about him dipping into the pot. Go check out all these articles on the featured articles portion of voiceofbedlam.com. But let's stick with the defense here, because then, keeping it in New York, they signed Damon Snacks Harrison. All right, so we're talking a defensive tackle from the Jets. Now, this guy's kind of seen to be an unsung hero. He's a good run stuffer. Now, I don't know. Did I get his stuff in there? He is undrafted, but he's getting $24 million guaranteed. The Giants are throwing his way. We have also just given JPP $10.6 million on a 1-year deal. How is this defense sounding to you, John?
It sounds very rich.
That's true. A lot of names. I mean, I hate to say this. I don't want to jinx it. But, like, the Redskins have done this a lot of times, and it blows up in your face. Now, fingers crossed, and I'm just happy they got money to spend. They're using it.
I guess, the only thing I can think about when you think about spending so much money on certain players is that then there's not enough money to go around for the other holes you need to fill.
Well, one thing that's kind of scary. Now, all these contracts, they're breaking records for money up front, which is a good thing because you take Eli's age into consideration. Now, Eli, let's be honest, if we're lucky, he's going to give the Giants 3 more years, putting him at 38. Like a real 3 more years, like where he's still a real quarterback, all right? So at that time, the Giants are really going to either already drafted a quarterback or be signing a big name, and they're going to need a lot of cap space. So with these contracts being front loaded, it seems like they might be able to transition this right into Manning's retirement and then find another quarterback. I'm projecting several years into the future.
Yeah. Well, also sticking with your team, last podcast we said we were predicting where Victor Cruz was going to go, right? And I slipped it in there. I don't think you guys heard me, and I was like, he is from Patterson, though.
Believe me, I know Victor Cruz is from Patterson.
So I was like, so I was thinking out that I was like, all right, he's from Patterson, so he's staying home.
Yes, he is. He's taking $1.3 million. You want to talk respect? That is an enormous pay cut. Enormous pay cut.
Well, I think he knows he's the number 2 there now.
Number 2, dude? He's not the number 2.
Well, you think Randall's your number 2 now?
We don't have a number 2. That's the problem.
You guys got to
Cruz
draft.
at best is a 3, and it's all based off the injury. Now, believe me, Cruz is a better player than Dwayne Harris. But if Cruz ain't on the field, Dwayne Harris is a better player. If Cruz ain't on the field, I'm a better player. Do you know what I mean? You got to be there. You know what I mean? So
you have to
he's going to be the slot guy. And if he's injured, Harris is going to be the better option. He should be there for that cheap. He was smart to stay. The Giants will do him good if he plays good. If not, he'll get paid somewhere else. This is a good decision for everybody. The Giants have paid him for these past 18 months where his combined stats, 0 everywhere. Big fat goose egg. All right? How's that a return on an investment? But you can't trash him too much because, he did a very cat-friendly thing. They told him take a pay cut or get cut.
And that's what he did.
If I may interject with some signings of my boys, Mike Tolbert's coming back.
Yeah, I heard that. That's nice for you guys because he's really more like a hybrid fullback, right?
Yeah, and he fumbled in the Super Bowl, but but most times he's good. He's a great blocker, and not only that, when you give him the rock, he moves it. So. Give him the ball. He's money. Also, Joe Webb re-signed. I know that people are like, what? No, but he's a good special teams guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a jack of all trade, a master of none. They even had that dude lining up at quarterback. Who was that? Minnesota? He was playing quarterback for. He was like the 5th string quarterback. Yeah. Remember that? Like that was like 3-4 years ago. Yeah. Good for him. He's like a niche. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
then they also got center Gino Gradkowski, and they also re-signed my boy Charles Johnson.
So they cut him. And re-signed him.
He came back.
How much money they saved?
He came back. That saved him a lot of money. And not only that, he can't. The one thing that he said, he was like, "You can't call me big money no more."
Yeah, please, dude. You don't want to see my paycheck, all right?
Yeah, all right. But the Panthers are really they focused on that offensive line, and I'm glad that they did because that was the biggest problem. Jonathan Stewart's not a terrible running back.
Well, you guys could use a real wide receiver.
Well, yeah, but
that's another problem.
I think we're gonna have.
Kelvin
we're
Benjamin.
gonna be fine. We have 2. We have Kelvin Benjamin coming back.
Forgot. Yeah.
And then we also have Devin Funchess that stepped up towards the end of the year. So we
Yeah.
got 2 fresh legs on each side, and then we got Greg Olson, who's basically a hybrid.
I'm down with
tight
Greg
end
Olson
because
well,
who's
he could be
getting
better
all
at
those
blocking,
yards.
though. He could be better at blocking.
Most definitely, but you know what? When you're needed to be catching all those
he's phenomenal.
balls,
Yeah.
you have to sacrifice. So then they understood that in the off season, and they focused on that offensive line, which I'm so grateful. Thank you, Dave Gettleman. If you are listening to this, thank you. Finally, you use your brain. Thank you.
Yeah, Gettleman, give us a shout out on Twitter when you see this.
Exactly. Give us a shout out, and also share it on Facebook, because you might have some friends that might like the podcast about the NFL, and especially about a Panthers fan. Come on.
All right, but look, we're going from offensive line to defensive line. We are going to stay in the southern part of the country. I'm talking about Mario Williams going 2 years, $17 million, $12 million guaranteed to the Dolphins. I'm not going to say what I think about it. We'll get into that later. But no, I think it's a bad deal for the Dolphins. Like, what do you guys think? Mario Williams, now he's down there with Ndamukong Suh. Another bad deal on the defensive line. Suh's playing out of scheme, though. So what's up with Williams? Older dude, 2-year deal, $12 million guaranteed. $12 million for this year, basically. That's the way you got to look at it.
The way that these defenses are shaping up now in that division, Tom Brady is going to really have to fight really extra hard now to not get hurt.
He might not be playing.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, so I might eat my words when I said that he's going to creep up on Brady's records quicker than we think. So. Yeah, I could do that too. What? I did it to myself, because I dropped the ball.
Sticking with the D line, the Lions re-signed Haloti Ngata, 2 years, $12 million, 6 up front. All right, so I think that's good. He was there with Suh, and that last year he almost seemed to be producing more than Suh, but he's been getting dinged up. It's an easy deal. 2 years, $6 million up front. They're basically paying $6 million for this year.
He was nasty when he was a Raven, so
yeah. So I think it's
he's a nasty player.
Yeah.
Just overall, he's just nasty. He creates a lot of pressure for those offensive linemen to do their job extra special that day, because he's a big boy and he's coming quick.
So have you guys heard anything about the KC stuff? Going on with the Chiefs?
What about
I know
KC?
that they lost their picks, but what? How did they tamper?
This is what it is. Because it's
Jeremy
confusing.
Maclin last year.
It's what's confusing
they
about
started
it.
talking to Jeremy Maclin before free agency actually hit.
Well, no,
That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly. During the tampering period. During the tampering.
So it
period.
involves the Panthers. Oh no. Right, because we released
no,
them.
No.
Right?
He got it from the Eagles.
The Eagles.
The Eagle, but
Jeremy Maclin.
Jeremy Maclin.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I heard differently.
Are you thinking Jason Avant?
Yep.
All right, but anyway,
That trash
Jeremy
guy.
Maclin.
Yeah. Thanks for that trash, man. By the way, I just want to.
He was a pretty good third down receiver. He did some things down in Philly for a long time.
Yeah, and he couldn't catch a freaking beach ball, when he came to us. So.
Well, he was old. at
But
that
let's
point.
stick with this KC losing their picks. Jesus, ADD guys.
Yeah.
All right. So KC, they called him up. The GM Dorsey, John Dorsey, called him up during the tampering window, which is actually called the negotiation time period or whatever. But in that period, you can only communicate with agents. They communicated with him directly. Now they're fining the GM $25,000. They're fining Andy Reid $75,000. I'm not quite sure why. He's not the one that actually did it. And the Chiefs as a whole,
Andy
the
Reid had
organization,
something to do with it.
Yeah, but the GM's the one who actually did
lost
the
a lot of
crime.
barbecue money.
Like Andy Reid's
But
an
you know
accessory.
Andy. But you know Andy.
How's he? He got
yeah.
triple.
Yeah, Andy
Triple?
Reid was the partner. in
$250,000
crime there.
for the Chiefs.
You know Andy
What?
Reid wanted Jeremy
That's
Maclin.
a lot of money to be losing.
Yeah,
and
but
not only
I know
that,
what
and
you're
you
sa-
lost 2 picks.
Yeah, they're losing a third round this upcoming draft. The Chiefs just forfeited their third round,
and
their
their sixth round next year.
But this is typical NFL fashion, though. Make an example of them right away, because it's like, if you guys thinking about doing this at all, we're gonna get you. And not only that, we're gonna hit you hard, and we're gonna hit you so hard that you're gonna be fighting back for a little while.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I think this is also going to happen just because they want to set a precedent, because I think every team abuses this. They probably could have got every single team, the Giants, the Eagles, the Panthers, anytime. Everybody's doing it, so they're always going to arrest one. Well, not arrest them. You know what I mean? They're always going to charge one, Roger Goodell and his Gestapo army, and just to be like, oh, yeah, everything's fair, and we catch and we look, and da-la-la. Everybody's doing it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, but when you get caught, you get hit down
and
with the hammer.
Oh, you're right. But you want to know how everybody's doing it? Because these dudes, think about when a rookie signs his contract. People sit out for weeks, all right? Like Marcus Mariota did last year, all right? John Elway was threatening to go play for the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? Contracts are not a quick process. You did not meet with this man's agent on Sunday, all right, and never have any contact with the player, and he signs his name 48 hours later to your contract. That's not how that stuff goes. Those things are in the works. Let's be real.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things that go on that we don't really necessarily, get to see, but we know happens because it's known. It's known. It's just known. But when you get caught, like I said, they're going to make an example out of you.
Exactly.
And they're going to make you wish that you never did it.
They're going to do it to one team every year or two, 3. You know what I mean?
Because think about Bountygate. Think about how many defenses, still probably have a bonus, if you will, for certain hits.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. And injuries and players, yeah, that's just part of it. I mean, I think we've liberalized the game, like, so much, but like it's all kumbaya now, you know what I mean? Like everybody wants it. It's ridiculous. Like this stuff is happening. These people are not all good men. Like we have Greg Hardy in the league. Well,
he's not on a team.
You know what I mean? Well, okay, but he was after. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. But with this, let's take a second. Let's pause here and tell you guys to come hit us up on Twitter at #VOBpod. Also, managing a Facebook page, whole lot of chatter going on there. We got over 9,000 likes. Hit us up at facebook.com/warzone.nfl. John, what's going on with our friends over in the Philadelphia area?
I would like to know exactly what they're thinking with their money, because Byron Maxwell thing over to the Dolphins, and then what are they? And then they got rid of DeMarco Murray. You're getting rid of everybody. What are you guys doing over there? I hope that there's a rebuilding process, that you guys have a foundation to stand on right now, because it seems like what happened was there's a for every construction, sometimes you kind of have to like knock down the entire establishment, right? And you got to start from the ground up, and it looks like that's what they're doing right now.
Well, that's what Howie Roseman is doing.
Basically,
he's trying to get rid of Chip Kelly's guys, it seems like. And speaking of free agency, let's talk about the Eagles. First and foremost, the Eagles signed quarterback Chase Daniel, the backup at Kansas City.
For Alex Smith.
Yeah, the backup to Alex Smith, to a 3-year deal worth $21 million with $12 million guaranteed. Now, this contract to me doesn't make all that much sense, because you signed your backup quarterback to a longer-term deal than you did Sam Bradford, who's projected to be your starter going into next year. Now, I don't know that much about Chase Daniel. He's a backup. Well, that's what I do.
And your coach loves him.
That's what I do know. That's what I do know about him. I mean, he's got to be Doug Peterson's guy. That's why you got him. I mean, I'm sure Doug Peterson was whispering in Howie Roseman's ear, like, "Hey, bring this guy over."
Of course. Every coach has got to have somebody that he can say is his guy. Do you know what I mean? He needs his staff. He needs his players. You basically owe it to him. So this makes me think, I wonder, are we going to see more ownership coach problems? Is that what that looks like? Are we seeing another RG3 situation where the owner wants Daniel Snyder all those years, wanted RG3, and none of the coaches did. Is that what's going to happen in Philly right now again? I hope so, as a Giants fan. What do you think, Sean?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I've never really liked Howie Roseman personally. I mean, he's kind of a weasel. I mean, he did do some good things with getting rid of Byron Maxwell and Kiko Alonso. The DeMarco Murray thing, I'm waiting for DeMarco Murray to go down there to Tennessee and tear it up. I'm just, as an Eagles fan, this is how I think.
Yeah, I got you.
But keeping with the Eagles,
yeah, because he'll have Bishop Sankey with his as a second down, like, you know, second back there. That'll be a nice duo,
like a 1A, 1B type thing.
Yeah, it's a nice combo.
True. Good point. Good point. But actually, going back to the Chase Daniel thing, what Chase Daniel could end up being, though, I don't think he's going to be your starter. At least I hope not. But what he can be is, if Sam Bradford, with the deal that he got, and if he doesn't play well, this, that, the other thing, he can be your bridge into your next franchise quarterback with that deal. Keep it with the Eagles. They also signed safety Rodney McLeod to a 5-year deal for $35 million with $13 million guaranteed. Now, he was an undrafted free agent. He signed with the Rams back in 2012. I got his stats up in front of me. He's had 245 tackles, 5 interceptions, 8 forced fumbles, 18 pass deflections, and 1 touchdown. Now, that's going to help the Eagles out a lot at free safety. They haven't had a free safety in a long time. So that definitely helps out that Eagles secondary. And going into next year, I think the Eagles are going to have a pretty solid defense.
All right, well, keeping it with free safety, what do you guys think of Deshaun Gibson, the free safety out of the Browns? You guys know anything about him? He is a solid player. Now, the Giants have been throwing around money like it's nothing. I don't think they can go get him anymore. But wherever he lands, he is a phenomenal player. Young guy, never injured. You know anything about him? With the Browns on the D? All right, the Browns got a lot of players, actually, on that defense who are solid guys. Keep an eye out for them. Look for that safety. He's going to be getting signed. I bet you by Monday he will have a deal. But now, do you guys want to get things rolling? This is our free agent special. We got our 4-minute hut. Our what?
4-minute hut.
4-minute what?
That was weak. Come on, hit that again.
4-minute hut.
The 4-minute hut.
All right. Today we're gonna play a little game with it, though. It's gonna be, the game is who got paid and who got played.
Rejection.
All right. So basically, we're going to look at all these money transactions and everything going on. Some of this stuff we already touched on, you know what I mean? And we're going to say it basically was a good deal or a bad deal. Topic conversation. Now, just as we rolled off the show, we will roll off the segment. First up, Elway. Now, it's paid. We're using it as a formality. Did you win or did you lose? All right. So Elway, I mean, what, he got played. There's no question in that, right? Elway didn't win anything. He has no quarterback.
No, they're screwed out there in Denver right now.
An old man said this wise statement that fits this situation for Mr. Elway so perfectly. You got played, boy.
There you go. That one's easy. Denver as a whole played. I mean, Brock Osweiler, they just basically paid Brock Osweiler to go to school for 4 years, okay, to learn how to be a quarterback under a legend, and then he got up and walked out on him. He walked out on him, and he walked straight to the Texans. So now, on Brock Osweiler's end and the Texans, did anybody get paid? Who got played? What's going on?
You know what's kind of funny, though, with the Elway thing? Because I grabbed a quote from him, and I thought it was interesting, and it's from their official website, all right? And here's the quote. We've stayed true to our philosophy of building a team with players who want to be Denver Broncos and want to be here. End quote.
Yeah, I heard this. That's kind of what they were saying when I was talking about them being girls.
What are you saying, sir?
He's saying that he doesn't want Brock Osweiler because Brock Osweiler doesn't want to be with him. Do you know? That's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's like, grow up a little bit, or either that or, grow a pair.
Exactly. Exactly. My girlfriend dumped
me.
And I'm really
hurt.
My side, and not only that, my side piece won't even call me back.
Scusi. All right. So did Brock Osweiler come out getting paid or played? Is Brock Osweiler?
Brock Osweiler got paid.
Damn right he did. What do you think, John?
He got the money.
Good for him. Good for him.
All right, next up on the list, let's talk about the Eagles. Now, we've talked about the Eagles already, but I think the Eagles played the crap out of that trade, man. They definitely got paid.
Yo, you know what? Also, to just a little side note to for Brock, you know who else signed a deal with them to make them even more dangerous? Travis Benjamin inked a 4-year deal.
Oh, yes, that is nice.
So now you got
nice.
Travis Benjamin and D-Hop.
D-Hop.
Get out of here.
Look out for Houston.
That's what I've been saying.
Do they win that division?
That's what I've been
Do they win that division next year, you think?
They won it this year, too, with Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, but they also won it with Indy, having Andrew Luck out, like, basically the entire year.
Yo, Matt Hasselbeck was outperforming the crap of Andrew Luck.
He retired.
The Colts were better with Hasselbeck.
It's still Andrew Luck. We'll see what happens, but yeah, Houston is definitely going to make noise.
This might be the bounce back year. I know a lot of people in my fantasy league. There was one person that gambled on him in the first round, and and boy, that they knack him true. And I also know some other people that gambled on him too. But I think next year is going to be a different story for him because he ate a big portion of humble pie.
You're talking about Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck will come back next year. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
he did have a big serving of humble pie. I mean, these guys were crowning him the next great one. Do you know what I mean?
And then he went
quarterback,
and just like Kaepernick. I mean, hopefully Luck. I think he'll bounce back.
Quarterback.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I should not have said like Kaepernick. I never thought Kaepernick was a good quarterback, but people were crowning him the next superstar, and he completely went off a cliff. Now, Andrew Luck demonstrated it for longer and better and more traditionally.
Well, he was the number one. He was the number one pick in that draft. He's a good quarterback.
My question is, what about these fish, gentlemen? These fish,
they got played.
They got played.
What are you thinking? Like, it's too much money for what?
As an Eagles fan, I could definitely say
Byron Maxwell
and Kiko Alonso. Now, I had high hopes for both of those guys going into last season. I mean, Kiko Alonso made some plays. The only play I can remember vividly in my head was in Game 1 against the Falcons last year when Kiko Alonso made a baller interception in the end zone. But that's, as far as Kiko Alonso last year, that's all I can remember of the guy. He was hurt. So was Byron Maxwell. He was getting burned in that exact same game by Julio Jones. Virtually that entire game. Byron Maxwell and Kiko Alonso did not play up to the contracts, especially Byron Maxwell. They did not play up to the money that they were paid. So I actually have to applaud Howie Roseman. As much as I don't really like him, he got rid of bad contracts, freed up cap space, and played the Dolphins. The Dolphins, you got played.
You got played.
You got played, son.
Now, it's going to be, you're going to have to wait and see how those guys play down in there.
And I think they got played on the Williams deal also. They got played all together.
But you're going to...
That's a veteran defense. We'll see. But that's like,
the Dolphins
like I said,
do have a good defense, but you're talking about three guys...
No, they don't. They have
an older defense. It's an older defense.
But my point is that you're going to have to see how those guys play down in there before we necessarily sit here and say 100% that they got played. I think they got played, but
most likely they got played.
You're probably right about
played,
that.
Son.
You're probably right about that, but who knows? Those guys could go down there and be showstoppers. Who knows?
Yeah, you might be right. But let's kick it. Oh, you got something, John?
But as an Eagles fan, I'm going to say that they got played.
Yeah, no, who knows? I think they got played a little bit, but honestly, they paid for older talent, and let's see what it does.
It rarely works. See, it seemed like
Kiko
the Giants.
Alonso's not old.
Well,
That's
no,
the thing.
I'm
Kiko
saying,
Alonso's beat up though. He
That's
was
what I'm
out
saying. That's what I was about to say.
broken leg.
when you're
Yeah,
beat
he's
up, you're old.
He had a phenomenal
because
rookie season
you don't
there
come
in
back
Buffalo.
the same.
He was under Jim Schwartz there too.
You just don't come back the same after big injuries.
See, the Giants
No,
paid a
you
lot
don't.
of money. They paid a lot of money, but they paid it to younger guys. All right, and that's who's
That's
up
what you wanna
next.
do.
Exactly. That's who you want to get somebody coming off their rookie contract. Now you have to assume the Giants are cutting ways with Prince Amukamara after signing Janoris Jenkins and having DRC on the other side.
Yeah,
you
he's
cannot
visiting
he's
Jacksonville,
out. Yeah.
I think.
All right,
yeah.
but with the Giants though. Now, really think about this. Honestly, most fans, I think, are going to agree me because of the size of the checks John Mara is going to be writing. Do you know what I mean? I think the Giants are going to get paid with this. I think this is going to work out well for the Giants. We do have a hole at free safety. I would have rather the free safety over a corner, even though we did get a phenomenal corner. Because Landon Collins is back there. I really want a mentor for him. I don't know if it's in the money to do it, but wow, they're doing great so far. I'm going to say they get paid. What do you guys think about them getting paid or played? Good deal, bad deal?
I don't know. Can we put a middle column and just say gambled? Like,
Nope, two choices.
No, two choices.
Is it a good gamble? All right, like look at the odds, right? Like, are they sitting there and are they playing? You know what I mean? Are they hitting? Are they at the blackjack table and they're hitting on 15? And it's like a real gamble, or are they just gambling a little bit? You know what I mean?
I think it might be a little bit of a gamble, just because you have fresh newer players, and you also for
A gamble with some upsides. A gamble with
the
favorable
upsides,
odds.
but not only that, you're going to restore the thing that the Giants were known for, and that was defense.
I mean,
and finally, you're making those moves. And for the longest time, I was kind of curious what the heck you guys were doing over there with Tom Coughlin. Like, because Tom Coughlin, like, he had to
Tom
go.
Coughlin is
he
a
had to
patsy
go
now.
a couple years ago. Like, after you won that
Tom
bowl,
Coughlin is a patsy now. I'm sorry. No, I disagree.
you had to. Once he got that ring, man, it's like you can't play that old school, ground and pound football no more.
No, when the Giants do good this year, all right, they're going to try and point the finger at Coughlin. But this is what the Giants have just gotten. The worst running team in the league just got one of the best run stoppers in the league. All right, you need to do that. That's going to change things. The team with no pass rush just got the top-rated pass rusher available from NFL, second-rated from NFL.com, top-rated from ESPN, top-rated from Pro Football Focus. All right, and then they went out there and they get someone who looks like they could be a long-term lockdown corner opposite of DRC. They got paid. If the Giants do good, they rebuilt the worst part of their team. Everybody's going to point the finger at Coughlin, and he's going to be the patsy. But no, they're building a better team. All they got to do is score on this draft. Sean, what do you think? Paid or played, Giants?
I'm going to say paid. Janoris Jenkins definitely helps you out, especially when you got to go up against guys like Dez Bryant and Deshaun Jackson twice a year. I hate saying that as an Eagles fan, but getting a shutdown corner is definitely going to help you.
Yes, exactly. So the Giants are paid. Now, who did the Jaguars pick up? What running back went to the Jaguars? Was it Lamar Miller?
No,
Lamar Miller went to the Texans.
Here,
he went
type
to
in the
Texans.
Jaguars. Jaguars picked up a decent running back. Type that up. Look for that. Because I want to talk about the Jag. Oh, go ahead.
I know C.J. Anderson has Miami, Chicago, New England, and San Fran in his outlook.
All right, but I want to take a second and talk about the Jags, though.
The Jags, yeah.
We're going to close up the 4-minute hut.
But what about these Raiders that are
Oh,
making
you want to do the
moves?
Raiders? All right. What do you, John? You tell me about.
Like I said, as a one-time Raiders fan and still a fan, but I chose the Panthers as my official number one team because I wanted to be an individual. But I still got love for these the.
So it was
black
your
and
childhood
silver.
team. Your childhood
Yeah.
team was the Raiders. See, I'm a Giants fan for life, but your childhood team was the
Yeah,
Raiders.
because oh man,
I'm
just like
interjecting. The Jaguars signed Chris Ivory.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Hold on. Let him
Chris
talk about
Ivory.
the Raiders.
So the silver and black that I was used to, I got introduced to those John Madden games and got to see some, I got to see of the Los Angeles Raiders winning the bowl, and then now it looks like they're going back now because they focused a lot on the interior line. Donald Penn,
And they got
could
Khalil
be,
Mack out there.
could be coming in there. They still got defensively they got Khalil Mack. There was I feel like I'm gonna butcher this man's name, but I'm gonna try to do it justice. Kaliki Asamele.
Wow.
5 years, $58.5 million they paid for him, and then they got Bruce Irvin for 4 years. And they're making moves over there in Oakland.
They got Derek Carr, Amari Cooper.
Exactly. So
Yeah, I think the Raiders,
Are up and coming,
just
team,
like
man.
the Texans. I
And-
put them in the same category as the Texans. Texans a little bit higher, I think.
And with Peyton and Brock Osweiler leaving that division,
exactly.
look out for the Raiders this year, man. Look
Yeah.
out for the Raiders.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe a certain someone amongst the three amigos here said that there would be a certain team by the name of Oakland Raiders being in a Super Bowl this year.
Okay, all right.
That
Yes, you
wasn't
did.
me.
You weren't on the show yet.
That wasn't
You weren't
me.
on the show yet. John
I didn't
did say
say
that
that.
back in episode 4. The first time it was the post Super Bowl show. We're talking about Cam Newton. Right there, episode 4. John said that. We'll see if it comes
Panthers,
true. We got some
Raiders,
futures.
Super Bowl.
We got some futures bets. Some futures bets going on. But let's get over to the Jaguars. So who'd they sign now?
Chris Ivory.
All right, Chris Ivory. Now, I'm going to say, I don't know. Do you got the specifics of the contract there?
You got played,
Before I say, yeah, because I mean, I don't know.
He had a decent year last year, but that was
He was pretty good for the Jets.
Yeah,
But I got to see the specifications of the deal if you can find that. But basically, I mean, they have somebody who may be able to play running back. They got Blake Bortles. They got what's his name, Allen Robinson.
Don't forget
the wide
TJ
receiver.
Yeldon there.
No, yeah,
TJ
So, or the Jaguars, I'm not putting them in the same category as Oakland and Houston. But are the Jaguars, are they going to be a top 5 pick next year, or are they going to get out of that bottom 5? Are they going to move anywhere, or is this team just condemned?
I think if anything, they make it to the middle of the pack.
Okay, but honestly, I'm saying, yeah, okay, the middle of the pack. That's a good answer. So I think that would be considered a successful season
Yeah,
for them.
definitely.
Even no playoffs, middle of the pack. Do you think they're capable of doing it? Maybe, and it's early, but
With that young talent there.
yeah, you just
and,
got. They were. Yeah.
I think they could be a middle of a pack team.
Do you think Jaguars can improve from laughingstock to at least a middle of the pack team, Sean?
Yeah, I think they can in that division.
Yeah, that's true. That division is always up for grabs. We didn't bring that up.
We were just talking about Houston, but I mean the
Exactly.
Jaguars are still making moves. Don't count them out.
So
So
they
that-
have
that
to
deal-
make moves to
that-
stay relevant now.
Exactly. That deal for Chris Ivory, rumors, and this is via BigCatCountry.com, is rumored at $6 or north of $6 million a year.
Wow, that's a lot for him. They got played.
You got played, kid.
Yeah, they got played. That's a lot.
For number 2, yeah, I would have to say.
Lamar Miller didn't get that much. Lamar Miller,
Right.
Yeah, come on, he's a lot younger. His best years are ahead of
But
him.
you just
his best
but
years
you
are
just got
behind him.
done saying a couple minutes ago about how these inflated contracts are something we're having to get used to.
Yeah.
So,
But
it makes
not
sense.
that much for him as a running back. It kind of makes sense what you're saying. But when you compare it to Lamar Miller should have made more than him. I'm sorry.
Well, you're talking about 2 different teams, man. 2 different ownerships, 2 different front offices.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yep.
Oh, this just in. Broncos also.
Breaking
linked,
news.
C.J. Anderson.
Really? Bronco? What?
Yep.
What happened?
Say that again.
Dolphins Inc. C.J. Anderson.
Oh wow, Denver man.
Wow. Wow, Denver. What are you going to do?
Jeez. Well, that's
Next
what
we're
happened.
gonna hear Demaryius Thomas went to Oakland.
Wherever. We won't be in Denver. But no, let's look at this, though. This is why this is happening. All right, now they just won the Super Bowl. The past couple of years, I mean, we've been seeing teams like Seattle up there. They were a young team. A lot of mid-round picks, guys that didn't not have bloated contracts. That's why they've been able to stay at the high level of play for so long. Denver being built out of free agents. Now, after winning the Super Bowl, they can't afford to keep any of these people anymore. But I mean, they won a Super Bowl. They sacrificed the future for a Super Bowl. I'll do that definitely. But that looks like where they are now. And
now,
and they were right too.
And
they
now
won.
Their
Let's remember that.
And their running back are gone.
Yeah,
That's
sucks.
crazy.
But it was worth it. I'm sorry. If the Giants were in the same situation, if the Giants would have won the Super Bowl last year, like, I'll take a Super Bowl and then, kind of fall back for a couple years if I have to.
Yeah, I mean, they are probably going to be suffering from a Super Bowl hangover.
It looks like that,
for the next couple.
They're not bouncing back like the Pats.
No.
That's not happening.
That division is going to be, I don't want to say up for grabs, but it's going to be up for grabs.
Well, who's out there? What's that? AFC West.
That's the AFC. That's KC.
Chargers. Yep.
That's Chargers.
Oakland.
Oakland
and Denver.
Yeah,
Oakland and KC.
Yeah, they're the front runners.
They're going to be absolutely. They're going to be the front runners in that division going into next year.
Yep.
And don't count out KC. I don't think we even talked about them when we were talking about the Raiders earlier. Don't sleep on KC. They went 11-5. They made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I'll sleep
They're
on them
still a
all
good
day
team in that
because their coach eats a lot of barbecue.
I was just going to ask you about Andy Reid. I was just going to say that. This is what sucks. I kind of like Andy Reid. I don't know why. He's an ex-Eagles coach. I don't know why I like him. But
he looks like Dr. Robotnik.
Yes, he does. That's why. It's coming back to my childhood. I loved Sonic, dude.
Like, especially in the
Didn't
Chiefs.
everybody
Chili
dogs
it also takes me back to that old Snickers commercial. That's all good and all, but who's the chefs? Great googly moogly. I think
I don't remember that one.
You don't remember that one? Well, yeah, hit up the YouTube and look for that one. That was pretty funny back.
But why does Andy Reid take teams so far and then screw up in clock management and blow the 2-minute drill, burn the timeouts, and they go down in flames?
Think about the last time he ran.
He's a good coach. He's not a great coach. He's been said over.
He just gets beat. He's giving it his all, and he's getting beat.
He gets out-coached when it comes to crunch time. And I know every Eagles fan out there can agree with me there.
Similar to Rex Ryan.
But you have
Rex
a baby.
Ryan
You have a baby him.
He knows what he's doing.
New guy, Pedersen.
To a point, and then he's like, we'll have to burn a timeout here right at the half because we don't know what play we're running or something like that.
But I have a question for you. But now you have a baby, Andy Reid, taking over your team.
I don't think a lot of Eagles fans are happy about that.
Yeah, I don't think so
said that
either.
a couple podcasts ago.
Yeah, so it's like,
they're kind of just trying to go back. But hey, they were winning back then, dude.
They were winning.
But they never won a Super Bowl.
You're right. You're right.
They never won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
yes, but you guys were in the NFC Championship for like 5 or 6 years in a row.
Yeah, tell me about it.
All right, so to say that his system didn't work would be completely opposite of the truth.
And also, progressing so far into the year gets you a worse draft pick. So you guys have been getting less quality of players because you've been good.
You're talking about the
But the funniest thing about all that for you, T.O.
Andy Reid can go out there and
contributing factor for
Kansas City and order cheesesteaks from Philly and do whatever the hell he's going to do out there. I don't care. He's not my coach anymore.
So, do we have anything else that you guys want to hit on, or are we going to get ready to get out of here?
I think we've wrapped it. I think we need to wrap it up, man. I mean, we've talked so much. It feels like
I could go on for hours.
I don't want to take up everybody's time, but but please hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, hashtag us VOB Pod. Share it with your friends. Also hit us up on iTunes. Make sure that you hit up the comment section. Give us a like. And also make sure that you start checking us out on YouTube.
Bedlam Podcast. Remember to hit us up on Twitter. Hashtag VOB Pod. Thanks for subscribing and downloading. Catch you guys later.